What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to be doing the Raw recap. We started off with a recap of what everything happened last week with Brock Lesnar. Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin come out. Angle cuts a promo on Roman Reigns and then proceeds to run down Brock Lesnar, which of course brings out Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns talks like he's some Brock Lesnar repellent, that if he was there last week, Kurt Angle wouldn't have gotten the F5 and all this bullshit. Then Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns insult each other back and forth. Corbin tells Kurt Angle that all he's there for is to make matches, so Kurt Angle makes a match, Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns, which is next. Before the referee comes out, Baron Corbin beats down on Roman Reigns, but as soon as we get the match started, it was actually a pretty good match. It was really physical. Baron Corbin dominated through most of this match, and they let it go for a pretty long time. Roman Reigns started to get the best of Corbin, so Baron decides to try to run away, and Finn Balor chases him back down to the ring. Back in the ring, Roman Reigns hits Baron Corbin with the spear for the pin. After the match, Finn Balor drop kicks Baron Corbin into the corner and then gives him the coup de grace and stands tall in the ring. Backstage, Kurt Angle makes a match with Seth Rollins. All he has to do is find a partner to go against Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. We then have Mojo Rawley versus Bobby Roode. This was actually a pretty good match. There was a lot of offense between Roode and Mojo. Mojo got Bobby Roode into the air, but Bobby Roode countered it into a glorious DDT for the win. We then have Elias in the ring, wasting time with a camera crew. Thankfully, Bobby Lashley came out. Bobby Lashley says everything about Elias is a joke. This whole feud's one big joke if you ask me. As the camera crew starts to leave, Elias jumps Bobby Lashley, but Lashley gets the better of him, calls back the camera crew, and gives Elias a hanging suplex and stands tall. We then have Raza versus Titus. So I guess next week we'll have Raza versus Titus, and Titus will lose, because that's the way WWE does their booking anymore. That was from last week's show. I called it. This is pretty much a glorified squash match. Raza planted Titus O'Neil for the pin. Then we have the Kevin Owens show. Oh boy. Kevin Owens introduces Jinder Mahal. They start running their mouths. And just as I was getting ready to fall asleep, Braun Strowman tips over the stage, dumping Jinder Mahal, Sunil Singh, and Kevin Owens onto the floor. Which brings us to our next match, Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal, again. And just like with last week, Kevin Owens tries to steal the Money in the Bank briefcase. Braun Strowman chases him down, gets hold of the case, gets back in the ring, beats up Jinder Mahal. Kevin Owens tries to steal the case again. Braun Strowman chases him up the ramp. Jinder Mahal comes in to get involved and gets hit with the briefcase, and Braun Strowman gets disqualified. After the match, Braun Strowman beats up Jinder Mahal and Sunil Singh again. I'm starting to pick up a pattern here with tonight's Raw. We seem to be seeing a whole lot of shit that we saw last week. But wait, the show's not over yet. Before the Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns match starts, Baron Corbin informs Roman Reigns, as per Stephanie McMahon, that he is not allowed to compete, so this becomes a handicap match. This was pretty much a meh match. If you've seen one of these matches, you've seen them all. Seth Rollins gets ganged up on. It did, however, end with a botched finish. Dolph Ziggler pinned Seth Rollins when Drew McIntyre was the legal man in the ring. We then have the B-Team versus the Revival. The B-Team is now coming out to an insanely stupid theme song. But anyways, the match was okay. Just as it was starting to get good, a whole bunch of flashy shit happens, so you know what's coming. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy appear in the ring in the places of Curtis Axel and Dash Wilder. They beat down Scott Dawson and Bo Dallas, and Bray Wyatt gives the Sister Abigail to Bo Dallas. We find out later that next week we're going to have a triple threat tag team match for the Raw Tag Team Championships, the Deleter of Worlds versus the B-Team versus the Revival. We then have an interview with Paul Heyman. Renee Young asks where he stands with Brock Lesnar, and with tears in his eyes, Paul Heyman says he doesn't know, that there's been no contact between him and Brock Lesnar.
And to make a long story short, too late.
After a whole bunch of nonsense, it all boils down to the question of who Paul Heyman thinks will win at SummerSlam, and Paul Heyman says that Roman Reigns doesn't stand a chance. We then have the Riot Squad versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. Again, I honestly don't know what to say about this match. We've seen it last week. WWE's been repeating the hell out of matches. Before this match, it was Ember Moon versus the Riot Squad. Now it's the Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. We have 2 more weeks till SummerSlam, so we're going to probably see this match, but I'll get into that in a little bit, because Ruby Riot returned to interfere in the match, which allowed Sarah Logan to roll up Sasha Banks for the pin. So in the coming 2 weeks, now that we have all 3 members of the Riot Squad, we'll get Ember Moon involved with Sasha Banks and Bayley, and we're going to have a 6-woman tag team match for 2 weeks. I'll bet you. That's how WWE f***ing works. They're stupid as shit. After this match, we have a time killer promo about Ronda Rousey, which comes to our main event, the in-ring debut of Ronda Rousey versus Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox gets into the ring and we go right into an interview.
What the
with like 3 minutes left in the goddamn show. After wasting a ton of time with this interview, we finally get into the match. It wasn't really much of a match at all. Alicia Fox kept running out of the ring. Alexa Bliss kept interfering. It finally ended up with Ronda Rousey getting Alicia Fox into the armbar. She taps out. After the match, we try to have another goddamn interview where Ronda Rousey is almost attacked by Alexa Bliss. Ronda Rousey was able to stop the attack. She stands tall in the ring and Alexa Bliss runs up the ramp. And from here we end tonight's Raw. Holy shit, this was repetitive. 5 matches out of tonight were repetitive in some form or another. Either we've already seen these people facing one another or we've had some combination in between. And they were talk heavy. There was an interview with Roman Reigns that I didn't mention, and you can probably guess what it was about. I'm the only person that could beat Brock Lesnar. Yeah, okay, we've heard this for 4 years? Nothing against Roman Reigns. He's a good wrestler. Just WWE booking is straight shit. Put the belt on Reigns, send him through the door, and just get it over with. But oh my god, this was a slugfest of a Raw. Hopefully, goddammit, tomorrow will be a better SmackDown. But that'll do it for this episode of Raw Recap. I'll be back tomorrow for the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Raw, what you thought of this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.